With the Gravity Falls video we made a few weeks ago investigating Uncle Stan's mysterious past and why he ended up in a Colombian prison in the 70s, I delved deeper than ever into the mysteries of this series. Despite having watched it several times and being so obsessed to solve each of the codes whenever the episodes came out, this time I noticed that there were a lot of things I had never realized, like the fact that Dipper clones 3 and 4 from the episode. Double Dipper do not die with the other clones, as almost everyone believed happened towards the end of the episode. So today we will solve the mysterious mystery where Dipper's 2 fugitive clones are. The first thing I did to catch up with this mystery I just found out about was to definitely rewatch Double Dipper. This is an episode from the first season where Uncle Stan throws a party to attract more customers to the Mystery Shack, and as part of the organization, he has Dipper and Mabel photocopy posters for advertising. Stan says he finally managed to repair the old photocopier in his office, but Dipper and Mabel discover that it is a supernatural photocopier capable of copying people. This is later taken advantage of by Dipper in the episode, because he promised Stan that he would stay at the entrance with Wendy to have some time alone with her, but Wendy decides to go into the party, leaving Dipper behind. So, Dipper's solution is to clone himself to be in multiple places at once and maybe get a chance to dance with Wendy. This escalates because they then need more Dippers to steal a bike and distract Robbie, so Dipper clones himself 3 more times into Dipper 3, Dipper 4, and also a clone that came out wrong because its paper got stuck. Dipper clones 3 and 4 steal the bicycle, and although classic Dipper has a chance to dance with Wendy, he panics, feeling overwhelmed and cloning himself 6 more times, making a complex plan that fails because Wendy leaves the dance floor to use the bathroom and ends up talking with Dipper in their first natural interaction of the night. This makes Dipper realize that his best plan might be to simply act like a normal person, which annoys the other Dippers who had already put a lot of effort into the plan and ends in a clone fight that culminates with the classic Dipper's victory when he accidentally activates the fire sprinkler system and dissolves the clones. Tyrone, the clone, survives but melts at the end when he drinks pit cola without thinking. For a casual viewer, it's logical to think that this was the end of all the clones, but if you are obsessive, you would have noticed what I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Clones 3 and 4 were not present in the fight. They are the ones who steal Robbie's bike and escape into the forest, but they don't even reappear when Dipper clones himself again and formulates his new plan, and we don't see them again in Gravity Falls. Or at least that's what I thought. It is true we do not see them again during any later episode, but they do reappear, even if only very briefly. During the end credits of the series, those special credits at the end of Weirdmageddon, we can see the 2 clones living in the forest. They made a tent where they keep a photo of Wendy, they use raincoats to avoid melting from the water, and we can see 3 playing the banjo and 4 reading a book in front of a campfire. That detail of 3 playing the banjo is very curious to me, because Dipper has never shown that he knows how to play the banjo, and it could mean that the clones are learning new things, growing as individuals different from the original Dipper. It might even be an indication that they have something to do with McGucket, but the truth is there is no more evidence for this, it's just speculation. Therefore, we must keep looking to see if there is anything else we can learn about these 2 clones. A few months after the release of this episode, the physical copy of Journal 3 would come out, which interests us because it is the next place where these 2 clones appeared. By reading this journal, we realize that Dipper started using it as his personal diary after finding it in the forest, and there are details and elements from all of Dipper and Mabel's adventures that are missing during the series. One of the entries in this journal is from the same day as the party scene in Double Dipper, but it is not written by Dipper, it is indeed written by clone number 3. The page begins with Dipper 3, Tracy, saying that he is taking over authorship of the journal. He and Dipper 4 joined the party after leaving Robbie's bike in the woods, and arrived in time to see how classic Dipper melted the other clones with the spray during fires. The rest is better explained if I read it directly. Quattro and I are hiding in the closet, waiting for the return of classic Dipper. When the party ends and classic Dipper falls asleep, we'll put plan C, control his life, and start dating Wendy. He'll live in the closet. Figured out. It's what he'd do if he were us, and he is. They even have a daily schedule explaining how they will manage the routine of one Dipper between 2 Dippers, and they alternate the days they work, eat, and hang out with Wendy each afternoon. They cannot eat any liquids or take a bath because they are made of paper. Those dates are smelly. Tracy says 4 is not happy with how they divided the days because 4 doesn't want Sunday, but Tracy tells him it's fair because 4 was just eating cookies while Tris was making the plan. While they argue, someone comes. Someone is Classic Dipper, who retrieves the journal and explains what happened. Dipper returned and heard me arguing. I opened the door and found 3 and 4 inside. I was happy to see them. I had forgotten about them, but they took one look at the pit cola in my hand and panicked. They shouted, "You'll never catch us," ran out of the room and into the forest before I had a chance to explain. I'm worried about them. It'll rain tomorrow. On the bright side, guess who just danced with Wendy? This clarifies a lot of the missing context and debunks many theories that the clones got lost in the forest trying to hide the bicycle, or that Ruby had caught up with them and who knows what she did to them, or that the creators of the series forgot they existed until they made the Raromageddon finale. Although the last part could still be true, this fragment of the journal seems to clarify why they never returned to the Mystery Shack. Both clones thought that Dipper was a psycho killer, and this is where discussions on this topic usually stop, as it is the last main material in which we see the clones, beyond some browser games. Besides, that information gives us a good basis for theorizing. They spent the rest of that summer in the forest, made a tent, and focused on fantasizing about Wendy, learning to play the banjo, and trying not to die, I guess. But that is a very boring outcome, and something told me that there was a missing piece, no matter how small, a piece that after searching more, I found in Gravity Falls. Lost Legends is a collection of official Gravity Falls stories in comic form, released 2 years after the end of the series. Thus, it is our last glimpse into the universe of Gravity Falls, and contains a very small cameo by clones 3 and 4. The comic is by Shmebulok, who says he can only speak normally every 1,000 years due to a curse placed on him by a dark wizard eons ago. Despite this, despite being rejected by society, Nomel has been using his exile by studying the secrets of Gravity Falls and mainly the Pines family. Shmebulok is the one who tells the stories in Lost Legends, and he knows them as he's obsessed with the Pines family. He follows their quests, looks for evidence among the trash, and ships every character on the show like the obsessed fan he is. During his explanation, we see he has a board with his secret conspiracies, and one of the images is of Tracy. But that's not all. There are a series of codes on the board with strange symbols used in the show. One of them says that Dipper's clones are plotting their revenge, which indicates that they are not as peaceful as we thought. But there is something else that is even more curious. They are connected with threads to 3 characters, Mabel, Waddles, and Blending Blandon the Time Traveler. Their connection with Mabel and Duck could be anything. Maybe Mabel brought them food sometimes, or found a duck during one of the siblings' adventures, but their connection with Blending is strange and could mean many things. This seems to confirm that they have traveled through time and suggests many possibilities that we simply cannot ignore, even if they are just that, possibilities. It is very curious that this is found next to the code that mentions the revenge plans of both clones, but the truth is there is no more information about this, just this conspiracy board and that strange connection with the time traveler. So in conclusion, Tracy 4 lived in the forest for the rest of summer, avoiding melting by using raincoats and tents, but they were also planning revenge against Dipper, and somehow Blending Blandon got involved in the lives of these 2 clones. This might have been after the summer, as the journal mentions that Blending traveled to various times after the end of Weirdmageddon, but honestly, anything I tell you would be made up. All we can do now is hope that this piece of history will come to light again, but until that happens, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more videos like this, remember to drink water, and see you in the next video.